and I didn't expect that for starters. And it also tells a very strong moral about friendship and supporting each other and always being true to who you are. I identify with that. I identify with the Yugi character more than a lot of other fictional characters because I'm always trying to be the guy who can be there for his friends. And sometimes I fail, we all fail sometimes, but Yugi is very, very steadfast in that respect. But a lot of people don't give Yu-Gi-Oh! A chance. And honestly, one of the reasons I made Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged was so that more people would give it a chance. And the greatest thing I'm ever told is that people have watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Because of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and they've gotten into it. That means more to me than like saying, you're really funny, or I like the voices you do. That means a lot, but it means more to me when I realize that I've actually turned people on to Yu-Gi-Oh! I also make Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged just because it's fun to do silly voices. I started making fun of my teachers back in school, and that's why I got into the whole voicing thing. So if you make fun of your teachers, you might become a famous internet celebrity. If you take anything away from the panel, I hope that's it. Right in the front row. Yes. I would love to do any autograph signings after the panel. I would definitely love to do that for you. And as I said, I'll be in the artist alley, and I'll be doing signings, I'll be doing phone calls, anything, pictures, anything you guys want. And I don't charge for like any of that stuff either, so don't worry about that. But yeah, after that, I'd be happy to do that for you. Absolutely, don't worry about it. Right here. Yes. There's another one walking around. I've seen him. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you're engaged to Slenderman. What's that like? It's interesting. Did you tend to forget meeting him? Like, what? You forget meeting Raiden?
I forget Slenderman every time I see Raiden.
I see. Did you prefer Raiden? I see. You're sitting right next to Snake and you're saying how much you like Raiden. I'd watch your back. Okay. That's okay. And I appreciate that you're a naked snake, by the way. That's the ultimate snake. Right, let's go over here. This gentleman in the third row back here.
Are you supportive of the TV show involving Dungeon Dice Monsters as a spin-off series?
Am I supportive of the TV show involving Dungeon Dice Monsters? Which one would that be? Are you talking about Capsule Monsters?
No, it's was the next season?
Dungeon Dice Monsters. That's the Duke is
There's a series based on that?
No, there isn't. I'm just trying to see if you would support it.
Would I support a series based on Dungeon Dice Monsters? Only if it was exactly the same as Yu-Gi-Oh, but instead they're using dice. If it was a carbon copy and it was just Duke as the main character and he's trying to be Yugi, that would be hilarious. And if the theme song is bringing sexy back. I would want that. I would want that TV show, definitely.
Don't worry about it.
Are you going to make that show?
Anything.
Anything, okay. Bakura, way back there. Hello.
Are you going to expand on American admitting he was gay in the last Bloodlines video?
Am I going to what, sir?
Expand on American admitting that he was gay in the last Bloodlines video?
Am I going to expand on America admitting that he's gay? Well, if you watch this video, that will show. There may be something in there. I'm just saying. I don't want to spoil anything, but yes. The blue glove back there.
You consider making a leap into the more respectable mainstream.
Have I considered doing respectable work? Is that what you're asking? I have considered being a respectable person. Yes. Are you asking if I've considered doing professional voiceover?
That's right.
Right. So I actually do professional voiceover right now. I've been recording for 2 TV shows in the past 3 months, and I can't tell you what they are, but they will be airing on TV, and I'm really excited about it. I wish I could tell you all about it, but it's really cool. I can't wait to come back, hopefully at some point in the future, and be like, yeah, I do Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, but you also know me doing this, and it's real. But yes, I've been working on doing more professional work and trying to get my name out there and stuff like that. It's difficult. I mean, it's difficult for anybody, and I don't recommend it if you're like me and you're terrified of failure and rejection. But it's a really rewarding thing if you can find the work. It really is fantastic. And And thank you guys. Honestly, I have so much to thank you guys for. And I want to take a minute. Because, first of all, I wouldn't be anything without you guys. I love you too. I honestly wouldn't be anything without you guys because I never, when I started this, expected it to become a thing. And it definitely is a thing. I will put it to you. And when I started doing it, I was a very different person. I don't know if I've told you guys this story already. I tell it a lot. But it's really important to me that you know that I used to be the kind of person who couldn't leave the house and who couldn't talk to large groups of people about anything, or even one-on-one. It was difficult for me. And doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged was a way of expressing myself and making people laugh, which is really important to me. I feel like making someone laugh is the closest thing you can do for a stranger to lifting their spirits. And I did Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged to sort of like take my mind off of negative things in my life. But doing it and meeting you guys and seeing the support that you've shown me changed my life for the better and made me into the person I am today. So I honestly owe you guys my life. I also need to thank you. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you guys for saving somebody else's life, because recently my cat actually got very, very sick. And yeah, my cat's Spaghetti. He's the most important thing to me as far like whenever I wake up in the morning, he's there and he's meowing at me, and he comes into the study with me and he sits with me while I'm editing video. And he got really sick. Like we found out he had a birth defect and he couldn't keep food down, and he started vomiting up food every time he ate, and it was really stressful. It was really awful because he was dangerously close to like basically malnutrition and dying possibly. And we took him in to the vet, and they scanned him, and they found out that he had his lower intestines had wrapped around his heart sac to the point that he was strangling himself every time he moved, essentially. He was at risk of dying just by breathing. And so we were basically facing the choice of either getting surgery for Spaghetti or letting him go. And it was a really hard situation because I'd never been a cat person until I knew Spaghetti the cat. He changed my complete outlook on cats altogether because he is the friendliest little animal that you'll ever know. And sitting with him in the hospital room, I was like, I don't know how we're going to do this. We can't afford surgery. If we paid for it, we'd be destitute, and then we couldn't take care of him, and what good would it do? And so with my wife next to me, I said, we could reach out and do a fundraiser. I don't know if it would work, but it's the last resort we have. And we were sitting in there in the room with Spaghetti, and he was looking at us, and we were cuddling him. And we didn't know if this was going to be the last time we got to hold him. And we put the fundraiser together on my phone, like in the space of about 5 minutes, and put it on Twitter. In about an hour, we'd raised $5,000. I really owe it to you guys, because without the support of the fandom and without the support of people like you guys, he wouldn't be with us today, and he is as healthy as any cat has ever been right now, so I have to thank you for that, I really do. We'll do questions for 10 more minutes, then I'm going to show the episode. It is an episode. And then we'll see what happens. Way on the wall there. Harley Quinn. Yes, what is it, you filthy monkey? Who's my favorite minion? I do miss Starbuck. If I were to choose a favorite, hello Goku, but I didn't see you back there. How's that planet of yours doing? It's doing good. How would you like it to do extra crispy? You would like me to fry your planet to a crisp, is that what you're saying? You're having second thoughts. The answer to your question is, my favorite minion is anyone that dies quickly. Because if they take a long time, it's a lot of time out of my schedule of destroying planets and invading them. Dodoria, yes, he was fantastic. I didn't even have to kill that guy. Right here on the aisle with the, yes, you.
Oh, yes. I noticed a lot of your jokes are very mimetic, quotable, sticky, and I was wondering...
A lot of my quotes are sticky.
I was wondering, do you know what makes a joke stick, or have you developed a method, or is it just you just tell your best joke?
Honestly, I wish I knew, because everybody always asks me, how do you come up with the jokes? And that is the hardest question to answer, because sometimes they just are in my head, or I've heard like a joke in a movie that I've done a variation on, or I just quoted verbatim. And so, sometimes, like with this video I'm going to show you, I have no idea if it's even good. Like, I made this episode not knowing if half the jokes were going to fall flat. And when I read them on the script, I'm like, this is terrible. But then when you put them into words, you're like, this is fun, because the characters are saying them now, and they have a particular quirk, and it sounds great when they're actually saying it. But I showed this video to my friends Wonkits and Nowacking, and they said they had to pause the video halfway through because they were laughing too hard. And I was like, I didn't think it was that good. So I wish that I could predict or tell you the formula for it, but humor is so subjective, and it's impossible for me to tell you what everybody else is going to find funny. I can tell you what I'll find funny. I find repetition really funny. And I don't know if you can tell that, because some of you know that I tend to repeat a lot of my jokes, and I think that's hilarious, but not everybody's going to think that. So I wish I could answer that question. I really do. Because if I could, I'd be golden, you know. Did you have a question right here? Yes.
Well, it's just a statement
Yes.
about her with the diabetes or whatever.
Yes.
I've got a mom and husband who have diabetes, and I feel multiple sclerosis. And if you're wondering how to put it in there, I would tell my daughter, you can either laugh or you can cry, and I prefer to laugh.
Yeah.
So if you just approach it laughing, people probably really love it.
It's a very good attitude to have, and that's sort of how I feel about it. I feel that one of the best ways to deal with, like, I was dealing with depression when I made Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and it brought me out of it, and it made me able to face it. But not everybody's the same, and I don't want to be like, you know, well, you have to be careful and tiptoe and be on eggshells all the time. But sometimes you just sort of have to face the fact that there may not be a good way of working a diabetes joke into Yu-Gi-Oh! You know? That is one of those ones where I would be really forcing it if I put it in there. But sometimes it works. Like, I do a Naruto parody where a lot of the humor is really dark. And it's my way of dealing with it and saying, you know what, if we just learn to laugh at this stuff, then it might not have as much of an effect on us, you know? But it's not that way for everybody, unfortunately. With Joey throw a Tootsie Roll at Yuki. You got diabetes, you. It's funny.
Back in the part where you can do it like go into Serenity, which is in the hospital, and make that joke right there.
But the problem is that Yuki's not around, so how would it work?
Not that joke in particular,
Right.
but the scenario.
Right. I guess it's possible. There might be a way to sneak it in there, who knows. With the, I think it's a Sailor Scout with the glove. Congratulations on your show coming back, by the way.
Will there be any more song parodies? Because I am obsessed with leather pants.
If you're obsessed with leather pants, that's great, but what do you think of the song?